Although we love, and we know you love, our base plates, don't you wish there was a more universal option to ensure your sensor is at the perfect 85 millimeters above your rods, not having to stress about getting the right base plate that matches your one camera? Sure would be nice. So we made one. I'm Gabriel with your premium camera accessory company, Condor Blue, and I'm proud to introduce you to our brand new and revolutionary adjustable base plate. Many of you may know there's an industry standard sensor height of 85 millimeters for when your camera is on rods. So if any of your gear attaches to rods like a matte box or follow focus, you'll most likely require this 85 millimeter height. Now every camera is different with varying heights of the sensor right out of the box. Then you add our cage, you add a bridge plate, and where are you really at your sensor height? Well, to ensure the maximum compatibility, there are 3 different ways to mount our beautiful adjustable base plate. First one with an Ursa receiver, second one with a 501 receiver, and then thirdly with no receiver at all. With each of these ways, you can easily adjust the base plate up or down to your desired height, revealing a set of 17 engraved numbers, each representing its height in millimeters. And be fearless, knowing no matter how high you go, our safety set screws will not allow your camera to fall even if you forget to anchor down your adjustment bolts, along with a beautifully organized chart that lets you know which receiver with which height is best suited for your camera. In light of everything we discussed, let's get into actually using our adjustable base plate on 3 different cameras: a Blackmagic Pocket 4K, an FX3, and our Blackmagic Ursa Mini. Beginning with our Pocket 4K, let's look at our compatibility chart. We can check online by going to our adjustable base plate listing on condorblue.com, and as we see here, we'll use either the 501 plate at 1mm or the Ursa plate at 4mm, but it does not suggest that we use the base plate with no receiver because it wouldn't sit high enough. For this case, let's use the 501 receiver, and it should come just like this. After admiring its beauty with all of its mounting points and purposeful 3/8 airy mount for the magic arm, those extra 1/4-20 screws, and that sleek design, we should start by adjusting the height according to the chart at 1mm. Start by loosening the adjustment bolts labeled on the back of the base plate with a 4mm hex screw. Move the receiver up to the 1mm mark, and here we get the first glimpse of the teeth on both ends of our middle plate, allowing for a secure and level adjustment. Once set, tighten those adjustment bolts and pop off the 501 plate on top by loosening the thumb screw and depressing the disconnect button. Attach the 501 plate to your camera, snap it onto your base plate, tighten the thumb screw, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now let's jump into setting up our FX3 with the Ursa receiver. The chart lets us know we should be at 4mm with the provided flat Ursa plate, or at 1mm with the plate on the FX3. Let's begin by removing the 501 plate to remove the 501 receiver, and it will reveal to you how the receiver is mounted. Remove the 2 1/4-20 bolts and pop the receiver off. This gives us our first look to how the adjustable middle plate has so many mounting points. Now, making sure our Ursa receiver has its knob pointed toward the back of the base plate, allowing room for adjusting, add it to the middle plate where you see the 1/4-20 threads and the airy holes. This will give us a snug and secure hold, allowing no play or twist and lining us up perfectly in center. With our receiver firmly attached, we can use the FX3 Ronin Ursa plate at 1mm like so, or add the flat Ursa plate provided with the base plate and adjust it to 4mm just like this, giving you multiple options for the best performance and comfort. However, what about the big cinema cameras like this Blackmagic Ursa Mini? With these bigger cameras, it's really easy to blow past the 85mm spec. So we made it possible to completely remove the receiver and use the middle plate as a mount itself, drastically reducing its size. And as briefly mentioned before, when we remove the Ursa receiver, we see just how many mounting points we got here. So let's mount it to our Ursa Mini. And for the most part, we loosen the adjustment bolts like before, allowing us to move the middle plate away from the base plate, tighten those bolts down again, and while using a 4mm hex wrench, this allows us to thread through 1/4-20 and 3/8 bolts from the bottom of the middle plate straight through into the camera, allowing for easy installation. However, if you absolutely need to, there's a second way to mount our middle plate to your camera. On either side of our base plate are safety screw holes, allowing access to unscrew our safety screws on the bottom of our middle plate. After loosening the adjustment bolts, lift the middle plate to line up with these screw holes and grab your 2mm hex wrench and unscrew. This will allow us to completely remove that middle plate, giving us better access to mount it to your camera. Here we get a better view of all the teeth on both sides that give us a great and secure hold. To reassemble, flip the base plate on either side, allowing you to place the safety screw on your hex wrench. Line up your threads and screw back in and repeat on the other side. And again from here, we check our chart and it lets us know to be at a 2mm height. So let's adjust for that and tighten our adjustment bolts right after. And there you go, this huge camera on our sleek base plate. Well, I reckon that's all, ladies and gentlemen. A hands-on into our adjustable base plate and creating a better and more compatible set for you. And never forget, if gray isn't your style, we have a beautiful and sleek, light-defined Raven Black. I'm Gabriel with Condor Blue, and happy shooting, y'all.